Imagine waking up one morning and realizing you're completely alone. No noise outside. No cars driving by. No people walking down the street. Just silence. Total silence. You walk outside and there's no one around. Not a single soul. It's not a dream. You are the last human left on Earth. This is What If, and today we're asking, what if you were the last person on Earth? Could you survive? And what would life even look like? Let's find out. No more rules. At first, this might actually seem kind of amazing. No school, no job, no bills to pay. You can go anywhere, do anything. You could walk into the fanciest house in town and live there. You could take a car from a dealership and drive it away. You could eat whatever you want, watch movies on the biggest screen, and play video games all day. Sounds fun, right? But soon you realize things are not that simple. There's a lot more to life than just freedom. Let's break it down, starting with your basic needs: food, water, and shelter. Food would still be around for a while, especially in supermarkets. Canned and frozen foods could last for years. That means for at least the first couple of decades, you'd probably have enough to eat. But don't waste time. Some foods would go bad quickly. Fresh fruits like mangoes, bananas, or berries would rot within days. And because many of these are imported from other countries, once they're gone for good. So go for the good stuff early. Eat the exotic fruits, enjoy the chocolate, and maybe even try all those snacks you never let yourself eat before. This is your chance. But eventually, you have to find new ways to feed yourself. Water would be a big challenge. You'd still have access to bottled water, and guess what? Stores are full of it. In fact, there are likely thousands of liters waiting on shelves. That could keep you going for a long time. But once that runs out, things get harder. Cities get their water from pumping stations and treatment plants. Without workers to run them, they would stop working. The water left in the pipes might last a few days, maybe weeks. But after that, it's gone. You'd have to figure out how to collect rainwater or purify river water. You might need to learn how to boil it or use filters to make it safe. It's not easy, but it's possible. Finding a place to live wouldn't be a problem. You could choose from millions of empty houses. Want to live in a mansion? Go for it. Prefer something small and cozy? No problem. But you have to be smart about it. Living in a big city might seem cool at first, but cities wouldn't stay safe forever. Without people to take care of roads, buildings, and power systems, everything would start to break down. Rain and snow would slowly eat away at buildings. Plants would grow through cracks in the pavement. Mold would spread in wet places. Windows would break. Roofs might fall. One strong storm or lightning strike could cause a fire, and there'd be no one to put it out. So you might want to leave the city and head for the countryside. The countryside would be quieter and maybe a bit safer. Fewer tall buildings, fewer chances of things falling apart around you. But nature brings its own dangers. Without fences and people, animals would start roaming freely. You might run into wild dogs, wolves, or even bears. Over time, some pets would become feral. You'd need to learn how to protect yourself. And then, there's something even more serious. Around the world, there are over 400 nuclear power plants. These plants have safety systems, but they rely on human control and maintenance. Without people running them, those systems would fail. Maybe not on day one, but eventually, one by one, these plants could melt down. That means dangerous radiation would leak into the air and water. Some areas would become completely unlivable. So, you'd need to learn which parts of the world to avoid. Staying away from nuclear sites would be crucial for long-term survival. What about farming? Sure, supermarkets have lots of food now, but they won't last forever. What happens when the canned soup runs out? Well, you could try growing your own food. Build a vegetable garden. Plant tomatoes, carrots, potatoes. It's not easy, but it's doable. Just remember, It takes time and plants need water and sunlight. You'd also need to protect your garden from animals. Without fences, deer or rabbits might eat all your crops. Plus, the weather might not always be on your side. If you wanted meat, hunting would be your only option. But bullets and ammunition wouldn't last forever. Eventually, you have to go old school, learning how to hunt with a bow, an arrow, or make traps like ancient humans once did. Without people working at power stations, the electricity would stop. The lights would go out. The internet would vanish. Phones and TVs would stop working. No more YouTube. No more music. No more messages from anyone, because there's no one left. At first, it might seem peaceful, but soon, the silence could feel heavy. You'd have to learn to use fire for heat and candles or lanterns for light. Maybe you could find a generator and power it with fuel, but remember, gas goes bad after a year or two. So even that would only be temporary. Learning to survive with no one else around, you'd have to teach yourself everything. How to grow food, how to purify water, how to build shelter, how to defend yourself, how to cook over a fire, how to treat wounds, how to fix things that break. But here's the good news. You have time. And the best part? You're surrounded by books. Libraries, bookstores, schools, homes, they are full of knowledge just waiting for you to use. You could learn anything you wanted. From farming to fishing, from first aid to mechanics, from history to astronomy. You could become the smartest person alive. Because, well, you are the only person alive. Let's be honest. Surviving might be possible, but what about living? Humans are social creatures. We evolved by living in groups, building families, creating friendships. We're not built for total isolation. Studies show that human contact helps reduce stress, builds trust, and improves health. Without anyone to talk to, laugh with, or even argue with, you slowly feel the effects. You might start talking to yourself, or to animals, or even to objects, like a volleyball named Wilson. Hello, castaway. Over time, your mind might begin to struggle. Depression, anxiety, and fear could take over. Could you be happy? Even if you had food, water, and shelter, even if you taught yourself everything, even if you survived for years. Could you ever be truly happy? That's the real question. We often dream about being alone when we're stressed or overwhelmed. But total loneliness isn't freedom. It's a burden. We need each other, not just for survival, but for joy, love, learning, and meaning. We are who we are because of the people around us. So the next time someone annoys you or crowds your space, just remember, it's actually a gift to live in a world filled with people. So, what if you were the last person on Earth? You could survive. You could find food, water, and shelter. You could learn how to live off the land. You might even become a master of survival. But it would be hard. It would be lonely. And after a while, it might not be the kind of life anyone would wish for. Being human isn't just about living. It's about living together. So while this idea might sound like a fantasy, it's a great reminder of how much we rely on and need each other. This has been WHATIF, and we'll see you next time, hopefully with more than one person left.